was talking about Fantastic Four.
Oh yeah, and
Oh
then we
well.
went to WandaVision. Okay. Oh, I mean, we can go back to Fantastic Four if you want, because
Nah.
there was a little bit of new news that dropped um, about it, which was a counter article from the writer. I think it was the writer for the show. Um, they had said something to the effect of, they were responding to all the Fantastic Four, clues and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and one thing that they were saying was like, oh yeah, so like the CMBR, that was something I learned about in college, and I just always thought it was really cool, especially how it's always been around since the Big Bang. And yeah, basically, this is all just coincidence. That's all. I'm sitting there like, I, whatever you say, I don't believe it. I just don't believe it. I'm like, episode 4 of WandaVision, y'all have already been dropping clues in Spider-Man Far From Home and stuff.
That's what they say.
Cosmic. Y'all don't even use the word cosmic all that often.
This is true.
They don't. The last time, because I was like, man, cosmic rays, the only time I hear cosmic rays is Fantastic Four. It's no different than the only time you hear of gamma radiation is with the
Except for
Hulk.
the Hulk, right?
Exactly. So I'm sitting here, I was like, man, y'all don't sit here and throw these words out there
Well,
unless
there
you're
are other
trying
times you hear of cosmic rays.
I mean, related to the Infinity Stones,
Galactus.
like that's what power cosmic, right? Like, but that's what I'm saying. Galactus is tied to the Fantastic Four,
right.
The Silver Surfer and all of that. So that's why I'm sitting there. I'm like, I don't know. And then of course, come on now, you're bringing Agatha into this. Agatha's debut, Agnes is Agatha Harkness, the witch.
Yeah.
But her debut in the comics was to be the nanny for the Fantastic Four. So come on now, like,
Was she?
yeah, yeah. She was Franklin's babysitter, nanny.
I wonder if we're gonna get that mystical cow that raised Wanda and Pietro to show up.
So what?
They were raised by a cow.
No, man, no. I bet you they'll probably throw a random cow in the show though.
So
They'll
they've
probably do
already
something
had
like
like
that.
little Easter eggs. Like if you noticed in some of the photos hanging in the walls, they'll have like a photo of a cow in a frame.
Yeah, I can see that.
Um, but yeah, we just can't stay focused on Fantastic Four. There's not really a whole lot out there. The
No,
only thing I was gonna say was I'm hoping what they do is that they just kind of do like what you said with Spider-Man, just skip the whole origin thing. Just make it so that they already exist. They're already a team. They're already out there, and just say that they appeared in the 5 years between the Thanos snap and the blip. Right?
sure,
Something happened. Right? The
we'll be all
Avengers will
right.
still be in Avengers for them 5 years probably. Right? There's a whole bunch of stuff that they could have done and met other heroes that just had nothing to do with the battle of at
I
Endgame.
mean, there's a very good reason why they jumped 5 years.
Oh
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? Like Marvel doesn't just sit here and make movie after movie and be like, you know what? Let's just randomly jump 5 years. No, you jump in 5 years so you have enough room to grow and tell whatever stories you want to tell.
Hmm.
That's all. So yeah, that was it was always known that a lot of stuff was gonna go down in between that time.
So more importantly, and I think this one really touched was the announcement of the Wakanda series.
Oh, now you want to go there. Okay. Yeah.
Right? It's something I've sat here and personally watched you campaign for weeks, if not months. Um, that the world of Wakanda was such a rich and lush place that it should be explored in depth in a Disney Plus show.
On the
And
show.
now
Yeah.
we actually getting it. Ryan
We're getting
Coogler has signed on for a 5-year agreement.
Yep.
So so much stuff to unpack here. Now, and this is going to be one of those questions. I don't know if anybody's asking yet, but with a 5-year agreement, with us knowing what we know so far about the Black Panther 2 release date, when is this show coming out?
I don't know. I mean, my thing is I've along with my campaign, because first of all, hashtag recast T'Challa. First and foremost. Matter of fact, I want to make sure that flashes on the screen so people understand. Hashtag recast T'Challa. So that's first and foremost. Excuse me. But besides that, I've also put forth the idea that they should just delay Black Panther 2. Push it back and replace it with the Disney Plus show. For a number of reasons. For one, the budgets are probably the same. They're putting $25 million in like most of these Disney Plus episodes. That's like $225 million for a TV series. That's unheard of. That's not. There are movies that are made for $200 million, in that case. So you could easily sit here and be like, you know what? We're going to push Black Panther 2 over, and we're going to give you 9 episodes of Wakanda Forever, or whatever they want to call it. And who's complaining about that? Who's really complaining about that, especially given the lack of Chadwick Boseman's character? And during Foggy's announcement, when he was saying like, oh, you know what? In Black Panther 2, we're going to explore the other stories of Wakanda and the other characters. Why are you doing that in a big blockbuster movie follow-up? I mean, literally, think about the success of Iron Man, the first Iron Man. Blew up. Shocking. Great. Everybody was like, man, Iron Man 2 is about to be dope. And they was like, you know what? We're going to explore the other worlds of, the tech world. Tony might not even be in it. And we'll focus on War Machine. That's going to be your follow-up to Iron Man 1 for Iron Man 2. Man, stop playing. Stop playing. Now, if you wanted to have Armor Wars, which is going to be the, War Machine follow-up, you can totally do that, as a show. But if, let's just say we were back in time, if people want an Iron Man 2, they want Tony Stark in that Iron Man 2. You know what I'm saying?
Really
like,
want an Armor Wars show? Maybe that's a whole nother question.
I'm rooting for Don Cheadle, so I'm okay with it. I'm not gonna fight it. I root for everything black. I don't care. All power to the brother. All power.
All right. I'm not gonna.
But yeah, I mean, for this show, like I said, it's also long overdue. I mean, when you look at the success of Black Panther and compared to the success of other shows that have also got the green light, it's kind of questionable as to why they took this long. It really can do the things that they were talking about doing, because clearly I don't care what they say, they had plans to keep rolling with Chadwick Boseman because they didn't know he had cancer. He had in his contract was signed up to Panther 3. So there was fully a commitment to give him the Iron Man, Captain America treatment, to give him a trilogy, tell his story arc, and then, of course, along the way, build up other characters. But now that after the passing, they had to go back and rewrite some stuff. And that's why Foggy had to go back and be like, oh, we're going to focus on other characters and do some work. I'm like, bro, you're talking about other characters that are supporting characters. That's what you're talking about, And the other thing that they have to be very careful with is the fact that like a lot of the other characters that we liked worked because they came in small samples. Like sometimes you like things because of the portion size, and the more you eat it, like caviar might be delicious in small quantities, but if you you might get sick. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things where we have to just be careful with how we're moving forward with some of these stories. But I do think that an episodic format is way better suited for that. I mean, we see what's going on with WandaVision right now. At least what it's starting to do. WandaVision is building up the MCU in different ways. We're
So,
slowly but surely learning more about her.
and I'm with you on that. I'm with you on them doing the Wakanda show. Whether or not they do it before or after Black Panther 2, at this point, I think it can be interchangeable depending on what they have to plan for their long term future. Um, but when is it all coming? Because I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, all right, they signed Ryan Coogler to a 5 year deal. What is he doing for
Well,
them for 5 years?
Black Panther 2 supposedly is coming July 2022.
Right, that's next year.
Supposedly, yeah.
And
So you
yeah,
got
so
about 18, you got about 18 months.
right, so Black Panther 2 is next year, and this deal is for 5 years. What is he doing
Yeah.
for 4 more years? Is
Well,
one
here's the thing.
season going to take him 4 years to do, or is he already contracted for like more?
Well, here's the thing. He's one move. The deal is a production deal. So he's on his AJ, your boy JJ Abrams. He's
Mm-hmm.
doing that right
Mm-hmm.
now. And he's also like somewhere in the article it said that he was also able other properties or other mediums. So the way I kind of took that was like, oh, he doesn't have to only do a Wakanda Plus series or Wakanda series. He could do like maybe some of the Disney animated stuff if he
Mm-hmm.
wanted to. So there's some flexibility there for
Maybe even
him.
the
And I
comics
don't
at
even,
this point.
yeah, maybe even the comics, but like I don't even think he's restricted to even just Black Panther related stuff. I think he, like I said, I think he's kind of like on that JJ Abrams, like, you know, if I wanted to do Blue Marvel,
So
I could
so
do Blue Marvel.
so here's what I thought when I saw that. What I thought is that it was a little bit more like a creator deal, kind of like what they do with their comic creators. So like he's going to be able to have free reign, not to just work within Wakanda, but also create new characters within Wakanda. And then
Sure.
that right there is completely way more enticing because if he creates a character that in turn gets used for years and years and years. He gets usage and license rights of any characters he creates in perpetuity, right? That's what a standard deal is in these circumstances. So like I'm wondering like for what enticed him to sign something long term, and what could he have in mind? I'm like if he has something in mind where he's creating something new, for
Mhm.
long term, that could be really interesting.
I mean, the money, of course.
Well, yeah, the money, but
And
I
this
mean,
is the
like, what is
start.
Marvel
This
going to get
is
out of it? Are they going to get a new character? And yeah, the upfront money,
they
but the
might. They
residuals, the
might. I mean,
residuals.
but the other thing is, this is not just about the residuals, but it's also about building an empire, right? Like
Hmm.
the fact that you can say, "Hey, I got my start as a production company, not a
Hmm.
director, as a
Hmm.
production company with Disney, Marvel, whatever." When that
Hmm.
5 year deal is up, and after Marvel puts it through its Disney machine,
Hmm.
and makes it successful, now you on similar status. I would say if it is as successful as we think it'll be, you on similar status as them Game of Thrones writers, where they could just go wherever they want, and somebody's like, "Yo, here's some money, please come work with us."
Hmm.
So I think because of the fact that he's doing this initially as a production company, this is his audition on the other side of the camera. Like before it was directing, but now it's like now I'm trying to be like James Wan, where I can just produce stuff. I ain't gotta direct no more. I can enable other people to create. Maybe I'll sprinkle a little inspiration here and there. But
Aquaman.
the same way, hey,
I keep sleeping on Aquaman.
Aquaman, I mean, at the same time he sat there and did the Conjuring universe,
Yeah,
where it's all these
yeah.
little spin-offs and stuff, so all these different things fall under his umbrella, Juan's umbrella, and it's no different. I mean, you're seeing Jordan Peele do very similar things with Monkey Paw Productions. A lot of
Yeah,
these,
we'll see.
director turned producers
We'll see. We'll see. Because
are doing
it
that.
could turn into a bad robot over there. We'll see.
Maybe, maybe, but I'm looking forward to a Wakanda series. Like I said, it's been long overdue. There were other series that got the green light after Black Panther came out. Like, to me, I was like, yo, Disney, y'all didn't expect Marvel, y'all didn't expect Black Panther to be as successful as it was, but when it was revealed to be as successful as it ended up becoming, they dragged their feet on that. There was no reason from 2019 to 2020 to not have something in the works.
Right.
There was no reason, especially when you've had other projects. You have Moon Knight, She-Hulk, Ms. Marvel. You got all these other products that are new that could be, that you announced that were forward thinking, but you never thought of a Black Panther thing in between that time. I don't know. I don't like it.
I mean, for all we know, they could have been working on this deal with Coogler the whole time.
It's totally possible, but my goodness, for a year and a half?
Deals take time.
Deals take
time.
For a year and a half?
Deals take time.
No, but here's the thing, though. Like, deals can take time, but, you can... When you want to do something, you can make it happen. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
You can, depending on how much of a rush you're in. And
I'm not saying.
In my opinion, Marvel has been in no rush to put out Black Panther movies.
But that's my point. That's my point. Like, I'm not saying, hey, you got to rush Ryan Coogler, because after Black Panther, the first one came out, Coogler needed a break. He was like, man, I need a break first. And then there's some other movies, he wanted to produce. I think he did 21 Bridges, I think, with Chadwick. I think he did something else. He did something else on the production side. But he wanted his break and the opportunity to do other stuff, and Marvel respected that. Marvel's like, okay,
4 years is a long time.
But 4 years is a long time to wait. That's why I'm sitting there thinking, like, Marvel, if y'all know y'all want him, y'all can lock him down. You could lock him down. I'm not saying you have to force him, but you could sit here and be like, you want another year? How about we add another $1 million and you cut that year into 6 months? I'm just saying, you can find ways to entice people to basically make them an offer they can't refuse. So the fact, in my opinion, that it took this long, there is the appearance that, yes, they have been dragging their feet on this property, which unfortunately has an adverse effect, because the adverse effect is the anticipation. No, I'm just saying
it is.
What? Go ahead.
Why they drag their feet?
Well, I wasn't going to go there. I'm not going to go there. What I am going to say is that all you're doing now is creating even higher expectations for Black Panther 2. And this is before Chadwick's passing. Now with Chadwick's passing, now it's mixed.
To come out before Black Panther 2.
I mean, it is, but it's crazy that it is.
The Wakanda show is really interesting to me. I like what sounds very open-ended about it. I like how it sounds like it could be multiple seasons. I like how it sounds like they could introduce new characters. I hope they draw inspiration from the Ta-Nehisi Coates' run and introduce a lot of the world of Wakanda world building that he did.
I'd be down for that. I mentioned on one of my videos, somebody was like, well, what story would you want to see? I was like, bro, bring on Galactic Empire. Well, if you bring that in,
Galactic Empire is good. He did a good run before that.
Yes.
Which was all very more Games of Thrones as talking about the politics of Wakanda.
It was. That was another thing I really wanted them to go into. But again, you still needed T'Challa for that.
No, because the book wasn't really about T'Challa. It was really exploring the different tribes and the different states of Wakanda through the Dora Milaje. So we learned about like how Dora Milaje members were recruited, how they came to be or how they were selected, what type of training and selection process that they had to go through in order to be chosen as the royal guards of T'Challa. But where they came from allowed us to explore the country of Wakanda, because it was made up of so many different wonderful backgrounds, so many different areas, so many different villages, so many different tribes and cultures unique to each one. I really like that.
That's where the new creations can happen. That's where, like what you were saying, the new creators or new, new characters can come through.
So there's some really interesting things that they did with the Dora. He did with the Dora Milaje specifically that I get excited about because I know who we have as our cast for the Dora. So I'm like, man, bring some of this on. Just like get inspired from this, please.
Yeah. I mean, I think that can definitely work. Um, when I say like we still need T'Challa, I'm not talking about for the series. As a matter of fact, I think the series can survive without him. But the way that these current Marvel shows are set up, they're set up to propel the movies. They're set up to connect to the movies. So
Yes.
whatever you do in a Wakanda show, it has to directly, or in at least some way, shape, or form, inform and impact and move forward whatever's going in to happen, in the movies. Like if anything, I would say like, man, if your show was like the show should kind of act like the pre-origin stories, so like if we don't need Namor versus, T'Challa, or Doom versus Wakanda, a lot of that setup should be taking place in the Wakanda show so that when the movie drops, we can just get right to the meat and potatoes of it all. That's how it should work, ideally. But we'll have to wait and see how they want to roll with that.
We'll see. All right, that's all I really got on that. I think we kind of beat that one dead.
Yeah. So we'll see what the people say, how they feel about a Wakanda show. If they are interested in hashtag recast T'Challa.
Agree to disagree.
Go with that. Ain't nothing to agree to disagree.
We don't.
Don't get me started. Don't start this.
I would be okay if they passed the mantle on. That's all I say.
I don't care about the mantle. This is not about the mantle.
And bring a new character in.
Do whatever you want to do. Recast T'Challa. You can do all of that at the same time. The comics did.
I'm just saying we're not in that circumstance, right? In the comics, they could do a lot more stuff that we can't do right now.
Doesn't matter. You right. can give the mantle to whoever you want to give it to. Hey, are we killing the old man Steve? We ain't killing him, but Falcon got his shield, right?
Old man Steve can die. I don't care.
Stop it.
I'm okay with that.
You're ageist. You're ageist.
I mean, if they need to kill off his character, kill off his character. I'm okay with it. Pass the mantle on to someone else. Steve was great when he was around. I got everything I wanted from him. I learned to appreciate the character more than I did before, right? The movies made me like Captain America, not the comics.
And in fairness, that's only because Steve actually got to tell his story. T'Challa has yet to tell his story.
If Chris Evans, you know what? I'm not even going to go there. But T'Challa's story can be told through another character.
That's disrespectful.
It's not disrespectful.
Oh, that's 110% disrespectful.
That's
110% disrespectful. No, especially somebody like, come on now. As much as you appreciate the comics,
yes.
As much as you appreciate the lineage,
yes.
the history, T'Challa is literally Black history. He is the very first Black superhero in mainstream comics. Come on now. And you talking about like, let's just substitute him with any other old Black person. Come on, man.
No. I didn't say that. I said we can create a new character. I didn't say it has to be any old Black person. They can make a new great person, a new great character.
You're not refuting what I just said.
A great new character.
Any old person.
It's not any old person. It's a great new character. And I don't want to muddy the waters, but this almost sounds like the arguments I used to hear when people used to say Miles Morales can't be Spider-Man. You can't just give that title over to anybody. Peter Parker is Spider-Man. It can't just be any person.
Close to what I'm talking about.
I'm just saying. You can't just pass
it's not the same thing.
This character's story.
It's literally not the same thing. And that
sounds similar.
No,
I said the defense sounds similar.
No, it's not. It's not even close. If anything, that supports my argument even more because in that in that relation, let's say the Peter Parker and Miles Morales, you can uplift somebody. Like I said, it's not about the mantle. I don't care about the mantle. I don't care who's Spider-Man, but
I'm saying we can
you're
have.
not getting rid of Peter Parker. You can have Miles Morales, but you're not getting Peter
make
Parker.
a new character and make him the main character. That's what I'm saying.
Do that and still have T'Challa around, and that is my point. I don't
Maybe
care
in the
if you
background, he's upstairs like Judy. He's in space with Fury.
That people are so
He's
so
hanging out with the Watcher.
casual. The fact that people are so casual to just be rid of an iconic and historic character is deeply disturbing.
It's not to be rid of him. It's absolutely appreciating him. I still love the Black Panther movie. Still love him in Civil War, Avengers,
none of that about Judy. You don't say none of that about Judy.
But what I'm saying
Judy
is,
went upstairs and never came back. You don't say nothing about her.
They chose to retire his character, but what I like is what the spirit of what his character brought in, and if they can bring that same spirit and energy and recast to another character or give another character that opportunity,
it dies. No, it dies. It literally dies. It dies. I mean, think about the legend. Think about a legend. Why does a legend continue? No, tell me. Why does a legend, in any facet, whether it's stories, movies, whatever, why does a legend continue?
You mean like Destiny's Child?
See, this is why I don't ask you questions. A legend continues, especially in, let's just say, narrative sense. No, a legend continues as long as the story continues, right?
Yes.
As long as that's how legends continue to live.
Yes.
Here's one. Who was the last Bionic Man?
I don't know. Ooh.
Exactly. You know why?
I couldn't tell you who was the first neither.
But exactly, right? But if this was like the 1970s or 80s, at that time we'd be like, oh yeah, it's such and such. I don't remember it either. I don't maybe
or something. I don't
maybe.
know.
But my point is this: the mere fact that they stopped making Bionic Man, the legend dies, and so did the character. Mark Wahlberg. Stop it. Mark Wahlberg was about to reprise that role. I think he's still going to be the $6 million man, blah, blah, blah. We'll see about that. But what I'm saying is, because nobody has reprised the role in like 30 years, no one's talking about him. No one cares about him. But look at the inverse of that. What would have happened if Roger Moore was the last James Bond? Do you think we'd have a Daniel Craig? Do you think anybody would care? Do you think anybody?
They would have made more spy movies.
They would have made more spy movies. Yeah, we would have had Bourne Identity. We would have had, all these other movies, but nobody would have cared about James Bond. And the only reason we care about James Bond and every single James Bond actor is because the role keeps getting reprised.
Well, that's also arguably because they've been passing on the mantle. They're loosely continuous with
it's not. No, it's not. No, it's
yes,
not.
It is, especially with Daniel Craig.
No, because passing on the mantle for James Bond is becoming someone else becoming 007. They have not done that.
They're saying that there's no group that already
that's not narratively
in the same narrative.
That's fine, but for the
audience, if that's the case, that means
the audience, we keep seeing James Bond is 007.
The Daniel Craig movies is a continuing narrative, and I think they did for the Pierce Brosnan series too.
Sure, but what I'm saying is, even existentially, outside of all that, for us, the audience, the way we engage with the character, we know James Bond and 007 are the same thing. And we remember all of the actors along with it because they kept going. I'm
pretty sure the next 007 movie is all about passing on the mantle of 007 to another agent.
The next one does include that occurrence because I think the black chick, I forget her name. She does take. She's like the 007 because James retired.
Isn't that Captain Marvel's mom? No.
Yeah.
It is, right?
No, it is her. Yeah. But, she only took it because he retired. But guess what? They brought him back. They brought him back.
007
That is the
was the
mantle.
title, right? So the
That is
Black
the
Panther
title.
mantle passed on to another person.
But you keep going back to the mantle. Did I say hashtag recast Black Panther? No, I
No,
said
I'm
hashtag
saying leave
recast.
T'Challa wherever he is, somewhere off camera, and we're gonna focus on the new person wearing the mantle.
Terrible.
And that person is gonna beef with Namor and marry Storm.
Oh God. You know such
It might, for all we know, it just might be Michael B. Jordan. They might just go the easy route.
stop the show. I'm done. That's your sign off. I'm done. I'm out of here.
we got